When did you decided to go for the exam and when did you started preparing for the exam?
I started preparing for this exam in the end of January and in the first week of February.
And from that day onwards for the April exam, how much time you were giving?
My schedule was mainly concerned in the first half of my journey, first half of my morning.
So you were able to solve all the 5 quiz for each chapter?
Accordingly, you'll have to frame 2 or 3 questions from every paragraph, and this will be very helpful for clearing this exam.
Okay.
Generally, in India, the type of questions which are framed here is completely different from the type of questions GARP asks.
You were afraid that, okay, how will I prepare in the next 2.5 months, because it's Feb, March and April. So were you afraid for that?
The first time I'm giving such kind of examination, and institution like GARP is very renowned. Therefore, going through this rigorous process and appearing for the same it's a very scary process.
Hello guys, I hope everybody is doing good. Hi, this is Ganesh Nayak. I help finance professionals and students to excel in their career and become a better version of themselves. And I also help students who are preparing for competitive exams in finance like CFA, FRM and SCR. Okay, and as a part of that discussion, I have with me one of my students who's been able to clear the SCR exam in the last April 2025, and is going to be talking about his journey of preparing for the exam and how he cleared the exam. So we have with us Satyam. Satyam, first of all, thank you very much for taking out time and talking to us. A brief introduction about you.
Hello, sir. I'm Satyam Nayak. I work for a regulatory authority, and it's been
Okay.
around 10 years that I've been working here. And mainly my work is concerned with engineering department. And
Okay.
I was from a long time I was searching for something to switch my career. Therefore, I
Okay.
found SCR, Sustainability and Climate Risk certification, to be more useful. Therefore,
Mhm.
I opted for this.
Okay. And when did you decided to go for the exam and when did you started preparing for the exam?
Actually, sir, I started preparing for this exam in the end of January and in the first week of February.
Okay. Okay. And from that day onwards for the April exam, how much time you were giving per day to prepare for the exam?
Actually, sir, my daily schedule is very tight, so I mainly preferred the morning hours, and in
Okay.
the evening, one hour was sufficient for me because I have to handle my daily course. So mainly, my schedule was mainly concerned in the first half of my journey, first half of my morning.
Okay. So morning, how many hours? 1 or 2 hours?
1 or 2 hours would be sufficient, sir.
Okay. And then evening again, you were giving some time
Yes,
to
sir.
prepare. Right.
Yes, yes.
And what was your flow of preparation? So did you read the book first or did you went to the videos first? What was the order?
Sir, mainly I was into reading the book first.
Okay.
At least I read the book 2 times, and then I went through your videos, and after that,
Okay.
the one more reading was sufficient to clear this examination.
Okay. And you solved the chapter wise questions also properly
Yes, sir.
for each chapter.
Along with the chapter wise questions, I went through the Fintelligent question bank as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm talking about the Fintelligent question bank itself because we had around 5 quiz, if I'm not
Hmm.
wrong. So you were able to solve all the 5 quiz for each chapter?
Mainly, I didn't get the time. Therefore, I've solved 1 to 2 question banks of the Fintelligent. Rest I
Okay.
left.
Okay. And you were solving when you were watching the video or you were solving it separately?
The first question bank was first of all I read your material, then I went through your
Okay.
videos, and then
Okay.
in the first attempt I went through the question bank. After that, when the second chapter is over, then I went through the question bank of first chapter.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. So you were revising and then you were
revising
basically
and then
giving the
again.
exam. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
So when did you complete your first full reading of the content?
First full reading was completed by March, mid of March, sir.
Okay. And Along with that, you had completed the first quiz of each chapter, or
Yes, yes,
started
yes.
after that?
Like
First
first
quiz. Okay.
first quiz. Yes.
Okay. And then you started one more revision and you did the second quiz.
Second quiz. Yes.
Okay. And
Yes.
how many days before the exam you started mock papers, the full length mock
Sir,
papers?
the full length test, mainly I gave only two or three full length mock tests, and it
Okay.
was before 15 days prior to the main examination. I gave the mock test, sir.
Okay. Okay. And you did you solve that case study quizzes and the calculation based quizzes that we had
Yes,
during
sir.
the time?
Case study quizzes, mainly the examination was concerned about the case study. So
Okay.
I make sure that the case studies are solved thoroughly, and your Fintelligent case studies were very helpful for that.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And how many? What was the score that you were getting in the mock papers?
Sir, around from out of the total score of 90, my score was hovering around 60 to 70 marks in total.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. And along with that, the overall the exam paper that you appeared at, the actual exam paper. Okay. How many calculations were there and how many theory were there?
Calculation, actually, the whole paper is mainly concentrated on the theory part, and some
Hmm.
of the numerical quiz in my question bank, there were around 5 to 10, mainly the question numericals. 5 to 10
Okay.
numerical were there, and which also I somehow managed to do it perfectly, because some of the question banks, some of the questions you told that numerical would be mainly concerned about the generic risk management. So I mainly
Okay.
concentrated on those risk management quizzes.
Okay. And did you read the required reading section?
Yes, I went through the required reading as well, and it was very helpful because some of the questions were directly appearing from that part only, sir.
So you had gone through that PPT that we had created for that
Yes, yes,
required reading.
yes. Case study PPTs were very helpful, sir.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. And you were able to complete everything in that time frame, the 4 hour
Yes, sir.
time frame that was
Yes,
given.
sir. Time frame was sufficient. Well, I completed the whole exam in 3 hours only. The whole exam duration was 4 hours, but I completed my whole of the exam in 3 hours. And one in the last 1 hour, I revised whole of the question paper in at one go.
Okay, okay, perfect. And out of, say, if you look at the overall 90 questions, how many questions were slightly easy?
Kindly repeat the question, sir.
So what I'm saying is, out of the overall 90 questions, how many questions were you felt that were easy, or how many questions were slightly medium, tough, or how many were actually very tough, as per
Sir,
your understanding?
mainly all of the questions were mainly application based. You'll have to go through the booklet, main booklet,
Okay,
and then you'll have to apply everything is very generic in the book, but you'll have to make your questions yourself, then apply your mind, and then you'll have to solve it. It will be very difficult for you to complete the question paper in the time duration.
okay. Now, when you came out of the actual exam, were you confident that you were going to be clearing the exam?
Actually, sir, I was around 75%. I was confident that I'll be able to clear.
Okay, okay, perfect. And now the results are out, you have cleared the exam. So, what is your view and what has been the reaction of people around you who have seen you
Actually,
preparing
sir,
for the exam?
many of the people don't know the importance of SCR exam, but it will be very useful for my future prospects. So I find it
Hmm.
very useful for my future prospects.
Okay, okay.
Yes,
And now,
sir.
if somebody comes and asks you that okay, how to prepare for this exam, okay,
Yes, sir.
uh, if you can give some three tips, so that how do you say that three tips?
Sir, I will be giving only three tips. Mainly, you'll have to go through the booklet. Then, mainly the whatever you read, you'll have to frame questions based on your reading.
Hmm.
Accordingly, you'll have to frame two or three questions from every paragraph, and this will be very helpful for clearing this exam, because mainly application based, this is very application based, and GARP is being a very international organization, and therefore the way they ask questions are more application based.
Okay.
Generally,
And
in India, the type of questions which are framed here is completely different from the type of questions GARP asks.
right, right,
Yes.
right. Now, when you started in the month of Feb,
Hmm.
okay, the first of Feb, you were afraid that okay, how will I prepare in the next 2.5 months because it's Feb, March, and April. So were you afraid for that?
Yes, sir. Actually, this kind of examination, this is the first time I'm giving such kind of examination, and
Hmm.
institution like GARP is very renowned. Therefore, uh, going through this rigorous process and appearing for the same is it's very scary process. Actually,
Okay.
many of the things are at stake. First of all, the fees is very high. Then you'll
Yeah.
have to give the examination, which is for duration. Generally, in India, many of the examinations are completed in 2 hours of duration. But this is the
Right.
only exam which takes around 4 hours. So it's very time-consuming process.
Okay. And so primarily, if I just understand, so 2.5 month journey, okay, and you completed, like you said, around three reading of the book.
Yes.
Okay, you solved three mocks. You solved roughly one, two quizzes for each chapter. Okay, so I mean, this is possible to prepare with a job. Okay, giving 2.5 hours every single day to prepare in the next 2.5 months to go for this exam, right?
Hmm. Yes, sir. Two and a half hours are sufficient for this examination, because only one book has to be completed, and there are around 10 chapters. If you
Hmm.
make a particular target and your learning is goal based, then you'll able to achieve the target in the minimum time possible, and you'll be able to clear the examination.
Okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
Because I asked this question because there are students who come to me 2.5 months, 3 months before the exam, and they're not sure whether I'll be able to prepare. And I always tell them it's only 10 chapters. If you do it properly, you'll be able to complete two readings and then you'll go for the exam. And yours have been the case where you've been able to complete it in 2.5 month with good amount of reading, with good amount of solving, and the result is very good, right?
Yes, sir.
So thank you very much. I mean, Satyam, this conversation will give a lot of confidence to new people, working professionals, that how they can prepare for the SCR exam and within a short period of time also. And the pass percentage is good. The content is not very heavy. It's
Yes, sir.
theory understanding based. So it's a very good certification to complete, and that too in a very short period of time. So
Yes,
that
sir.
is what I think. So what people would be able to understand from
Yes,
our
sir.
conversation.
Yes, sir, definitely. And I would like to thank the Fintelligent team, because they have helped me. And the course material is very awesome, because many of the things are directly coming from your question bank as well as the case studies. If a person who doesn't have much time, he can easily register to your course, and accordingly, he can follow the step by step procedure which you are prescribing, and it would be very helpful for them to have to gain such kind of certification in the minimum time possible.
Right, right. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Satyam, for your time.